speaking is the number one way to build authority. And coming back to what you asked me before, I don't really sell attention because not everybody likes to buy attention. It's not as sexy as I can help you have more authority and trust. And the way to get that is through speaking. It's the most powerful way to have instant trust. There's something powerful about speaking because you command attention with it. And without going into the people that are faking it or not, if you speak with conviction and speak like you know what you're talking about, right? People just tend to listen. People tend to put you on a higher value, a higher pedestal. And then if they look at your profile, and then if they look at ways that they're trying to know if they can trust you and you're credible, it's a very powerful thing to be able to leverage and use.
Hey, what's up, Masters? Welcome to another episode of Path to Mastery. Today, we're with Mr. Jay from Ace of Spades. What's up, Jay?
Come on, man. We're here. Another day, another dollar. We're here.
I love it.
What's going on?
Love it.
Curious to know. What's the favorite book behind you? What's your favorite book?
Oh, God. It's a favorite book. There's just so many good ones.
What was it when I said that? What was the one that came to mind?
It's funny. There's one on my desk over there right now.
What is it? Show the people.
Called Human. Oh, you want? Because actually, hold on. Now I got to step away. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, it's okay. I'll take over the show, guys. I heard that the executive orders, they wanted more of a young Australian international face.
Hold on. All right. Let me see. So here we go. Human Hacking by Chris Hagney. I may not be pronouncing his last name right. But is
this like the newer version of the How to Win?
Brand new, yeah. He'll be on my podcast November 9th, I believe.
Nice.
So yeah, just a phenomenal. But I mean, listen, there's so many books. You read a book, you get what you want from it. You go back to it. Just it depends where you are in life, right? I mean, my buddy Chris Voss here. I've had Chris Voss on my podcast twice. Phenomenal. Never split the difference. My Tim Story, Miracle Mentality, another great read. Fundamentals, right? Think and Grow Rich, a fundamental. I mean, everybody has to read Think and Grow Rich, right? Yeah, so I can go on all day about books, man, but we're not here to talk about that, man. So here to talk about you, boss.
I'm the new guy. I'm the new guy. I've got all these big names. We're here. I show up. If I got onto David's podcast, you know what that means? I'm doing something right.
You made it big.
We made it.
You made it big. I heard you talking earlier. You're like telling your assistant, yeah. I want to be on that. Book me with that speaker over there, whatever the hell they're doing. You're just like, yeah, get me on that stage.
Action, man. Listen, you know what I mean? Movement is everything, right? And movement with what we do, with what you do, dude, you got to move. And, I know when, just to transition this, 2020, I lost everything, my contracts, my cash flow, my confidence. And I realized, because I was speaking for a living, right? And I realized that freezing doesn't do anything. I always if I just keep moving and making some phone calls and doing something, it's sort of like if you're walking, you can jog. If you jog, you can run.
Yeah.
So it's that whole, yeah, you're right. Don't just move.
Yeah. Amen, dude. All right. So listen, who are you? You are a international speaker. You've been sharing your message for 15 years in over 30 countries. Wow, 30 countries. Did not know
man.
That.
I've been to a few of them. Yeah.
Hey, in 2009, he leveraged social media platform YouTube to organically grow his channel to 57 million views. Wow. Views in online in the space. How to do? Oh, so you do magic tricks. You're a magician.
You read ahead and realized, oh, hang on, it connects.
Yeah. It
magician
does.
for 10 years, man. Yeah, built a YouTube channel of 57 million views.
So, you know why I say that? And I'm sorry, I thought you were like a social media guy, and it's funny because I saw your bio. It's all good. So much prep, man. You can tell.
Don't worry about it.
So leaving behind the tricks, leaving the tricks behind. He leverages mastery in PR and personal branding to start an agency called Ace of Spades, which helps people get seen and become the number one in their space. So yeah, that's what I saw earlier. The magic thing I didn't catch. I missed that for some reason. But yeah, let's talk about that. How does somebody? And before we even get into that, question with number one. What I'm hearing a lot these days is we don't want to be the best. We want to be different. Right. So what's your take when you hear that? Let's forget about, and I'm not saying number one. A lot of people say, well, I'm the number one. Well, they don't all say they're number one. They say they're the best. Right.
Right.
So let's talk about the differences between that number one and the best, and then different.
Yeah. Well, let's answer it from a marketing point of view. Number one is just a marketing thing. You know what I mean? Number one, the best, leading. It's just a way to get people's attention. In my opinion, when I say the number one in your space to other people, the people we work with, there's a lot of competition, right? There's a lot of people. I'm here in Miami. How many realtors? Dude, I met a realtor the other day. She was 18. And then the next lady's 38. They both pitched me. Both sounded pretty good to me, right? So who's better? Same thing with coaches, right? Same thing with podcasters. Same thing with people on Clubhouse saying they're the best. So it's like being that number one is like, how do you more so, instead of being the number one to you, how do you get seen as the first thought? So when someone says, hey, man, I'm looking for a coach, a business coach, dude, you got to work with this guy. Hey, man, listen, I'm leaning a lady that can really look after my house. It's valued at 20 mil. Who do you got? I've got the lady. She's boutique. Hey, I'm looking for a guy to really help me get some attention in the media. You got to talk to my boy, Jay. Right. So it's more about who's the first person that they think of. That's the way I position it.
I like it. So it's the first thought. It's like when you think real estate, you want to be the person that they, at least in the first couple, right? Like that should be always the goal. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Well, yeah. Well, let's play a game.
Omnipresent, isn't it? It's like, is that part of it?
Yeah. It's getting seen. Right. And to backtrack, I did a gig for Audi cars as a magician, right? I got flown over to India. This is sort of earlier in my career. They flew me over business class. I never went business class before. I thought I was the prince. Room service came to the room. I signed it like I was a prince, right? And I asked them after this event, I said, why did you choose me? Thinking I was the best magician or the best speaker, or maybe I had a bit of an Indian-esque look. Well, it wasn't it. The reason why I was chosen is because at the time I had 30 million views on YouTube, and the CEO had to make a decision between a Bollywood superstar or this new guy, right? Bollywood superstar was more well-known, but they were going for more of a digital feel. So of course they chose me because I had more of the attention that he wanted. And I always kept that in my mind, like, wow, I didn't understand that. I thought it was talent because I thought I was an artist, man. It's like a singer. I'm the best singer. Maybe you are, but you're not the most known singer.
I love it.
So it's people like, this is what we got to keep. This is what I do. Part of my agency is like, how can we keep seeing you? How can we keep promoting you? Because we realize, David, as you know, it's not the best coach. It's not the best podcaster. It's not the best website. It's the person that constantly is seen the most, who has more of the choices to win.
It's a good point. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about that. And when it comes to like attention, right? Because that's what I'm taking. And you obviously built a brand on YouTube, right? Was that the first place you built up your image or was?
Absolutely. That would be my most claim to fame that people could see. I was working for these big corporations and companies, but when you're working for, as you call it in America, right, the Fortune 500, and by the way, it's an Australian accent. If anyone's listening, they're like, what is that? Is it Australian? Is it London?
I thought it was from Miami. Yeah. And isn't that everybody in Miami sounds?
I've got the pocket swear like I'm in Miami, but it is that was my claim to fame on the success of like when people can see. So, YouTube was where I can leverage the facts of like 150 countries that I've been watched in, 57 million views on YouTube. Like back then, there were no softwares and services to boost your numbers. It was all like sweat and blood. So that was sort of the first part where I was selling. I was a magician, but I was selling a personality and building a personal brand. And that's when I understood where I kept getting brand deals or I got flown over to other countries. It wasn't because I was the best magician. It's because people could see me and I was easy to be found.
All right. Good stuff. Well, I met you on Clubhouse, and obviously Clubhouse is there's a lot of different apps now. I'd love to, what are your thoughts? You're not, I've seen you a few times on Clubhouse. I'm not sure how much time you spend there, but what are your thoughts on Clubhouse and what do you think of it?
I love it, man. I love it. You know, dude, I welcome all these new apps because I got on it like we came out in December, right? Of 2020. I think is that correct?
I
think it was
it's
like early.
I think it's been a while, man. I think it's older than that. I think a
Okay.
lot of the original G's jumped on
Right.
in like December. I got on in March.
Yeah, I got on, I
last
think
year.
about June. Yeah, June. And I saw this opportunities and I saw like instant way for me to build authority, because that's just what people don't realize. Speaking is the number one way to build authority. And coming back to what you asked me before, I don't really sell attention because not everybody likes to buy attention. It's not as sexy as I can help you have more authority and trust. And the way to get that is through speaking. It's the most powerful way to have instant trust. It's an instant authority. Sorry, it's speaking. So I saw Clubhouse as a way to do like speaking again. It's like a virtual conference, but it's imagine having an hour and a half of a Q&A at the Hilton in Miami and everyone's got a microphone in their hand. That's exactly what Clubhouse is. Exactly. So it's like you get people that are speaking, you can hear them speak, you can check out their profile, you know they're active, you know they're listening. So other than speaking, it was a great way for me to meet new people, get new clients, and also I get connections like I have with you now. Like, how would I have met David? I probably wouldn't have met you probably in another way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's weird. I'm like buds with Dane Cook from Clubhouse, the comedian.
Right.
Who else? I was talking to this girl, Tiffany Hag. I don't even know her. She's got like 5 million followers.
Haddish?
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
Tiffany
you.
Haddish.
Yesterday in a conversation with her in the Breakfast with Champions room. I've had Chris, I interviewed Chris Voss I mean, it's just like, how else there was a room and what's his face was in there. Founder of Zuckerberg. I can't remember the founder of Facebook. But yeah, it's just it's nuts. The people that you can come in contact with.
It's like a cooler version of LinkedIn. Like remember like LinkedIn, but there was like a block of like, well, it's corporate, they don't know you. Now it's like, speaking is where I shine. So it's like it was just a place for me to like stand on a stage and present and share my message. And if people resonate with you, dude, you reach out and connect.
What about speaking? So you said it creates trust. What about speaking is it that creates the trust? Because, and I'll tell you why I'm asking that question, because it's two-part. Because in Clubhouse, there's a lot of, and like all apps, there's a lot of people that aren't authentic. They're not really what they say, but they're very good at articulating, and speaking, but they're phonies.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Welcome to humans. Welcome to humans. So look, speaking, let's go back to like the root of it. The number one fear in the world is public speaking, right? Now, obviously, without going too deep into it, right? It's different because you're in front of the public, but you're still behind a microphone. So there is a little bit of, you're not probably as scared if we got everybody on a stage to speak to everybody. But there's something powerful about speaking because you command attention with it. And without going into the people that are faking it or not, if you speak with conviction and speak like you know what you're talking about, right? People just tend to listen. People tend to go put you on a higher value, a higher pedestal. And then if they look at your profile, and then if they look at ways that they're trying to know if they can trust you and you're credible, it's a very powerful thing to be able to leverage and use. It's speaking is huge. But as you said too, it's hard because it's so easy now to buy fame. It's so easy now to buy attention. And that's what we do. That's what we sell for a living. So it's a catch-22 sometimes. But to wrap it for you, to land the plane is this new thing everyone's saying on Clubhouse, to land the plane right now on this one. You know what will always trump authenticity? You can't fake that for too long, right? Because it will come out. Yeah, you might be able to, get the blue check, and you might be able to get the followers like I do, right? And build this amazing celebrity vibe about you, but your content and character will trump. And if the moment that someone sees you as this, and the moment that you show them a different side of you, man, it's not like you're not trusted anymore. You're done. You're completely done. You ever met a celebrity or someone that you find valuable in your eyes? Have you ever met them and they were not this kind of elusive fantasy that you thought they were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's happened in my life with the opportunities that I've met. I met people, I live in LA. I've met Indian celebrities that I know. And when I saw I call it the when their makeup was off, I was very disappointed. And that feeling was like very unfulfilling. I'm like, I want that person.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people like that. They say things on camera or on video to look good, but then off, they're a different person when the camera's off. And that,
absolutely,
unfortunately, that's pretty common. And I like what you said, because I wrote it down. You said they can fake it, but they can't, they can't fake it for too long. Because eventually, if you keep listening, then the real something's you're gonna catch some cracks, right? Something's gonna be off.
You can't remember, David. You can't remember your lies.
Mm.
You can remember the truth. So like for me, it's like I've always gone into this space. Anything I've done is like I just go with completely pure me, because when I wake up, I'm like, you can't fault someone for being them. They may not like you, but it's like, dude, at least he's honest. At least he's like who he says he is, Mm. And it's easier to fuel yourself from that point rather than this mask. Because then you got to go into it, man. I got to fake it. Now I got to impress people with this not version of me. I'm like, dude, I don't even know what I want to eat for lunch sometimes. How am I going to figure out what I want to like lie to the world with all day?
Well, then you have to remember what you said all the time, right? You're like, God, what did I say last time?
And you're going to get caught out. Yeah, man. Yeah. Like,
amen. I get it.
Hmm.
I want to talk to you about the verification, because honestly, that was when you came into a room I was running. I clicked on your profile. By the way, your profile picture looks like gosh, what's his name? Jonas. I don't know if you knew that or not, but your profile picture was just Nick Jonas. Yeah, that's
what a man gotta do.
Yeah. You look exactly just like him. You kind of look like him anyway, but your profile picture looks like you're him. So I clicked on your profile picture.
I'm making it in life.
Yeah, hey, you're doing all right, boss. It's probably not a bad thing if you look like Nick Jonas, right? And
exactly.
I used to look like Hootie years ago, but I remember.
It's all right.
Blowfish 20 something years ago.
You probably got a couple of girls' numbers because of that. So just milk it.
I've done all right. I wouldn't. Right. But let me ask you this. So what? I forget where I was even going with this. I like confused myself.
Right, I love it. We're verification.
Yes.
Why is verification important?
Verification. Yes.
Yeah. So look, verification for everybody listening right now, it is the blue tick on social media platforms, mainly Instagram and Facebook. So if you go on someone's account, and if you guys go on my account right now at JJ Live, JayJaylive, you'll see a blue tick. And a lot of people call it the tick. They call it verification. What it is, it's a blue tick. But what it gives you is this instant trust, instant authority. And in everyone's minds, when they see that online on Instagram, they go, he is the real deal. You are the expert, or I don't have to question you, because we've made value that blue tick is the king. It's the top. I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world, but it's not about what I think. It's about what the value is, right? Why do we spend $500,000 on a car, on a Lamborghini Aventador, right? It's just a car, but because it's that sexy kind of vibe that we've put celebrities in it, Hollywood's made it cool, and they've made that as if you drive that to a nightclub, if you drive that to a party, you are become, wow, well, who is this person? What does he do? How do I get to know him? Why is that different if I rock in a Toyota Corolla? Why? Same person, same me, but it's something that we put value on it. So that blue tick is probably the ultimate status and winning move that you can have as one of them, on your Instagram.
That's interesting. And it's not easy to get, right? How hard is it to get?
A lot now, right? Like, when we're creating this podcast, this is what we do, part of our agency. So we specialize in this. Back 2 years ago, you could literally submit and they'll give it to you, right? Even a year ago, it was very easy. Now it's become super difficult because either people are lying about what they say they do or who they are. And also a lot of people are scamming other people's accounts. So for example, let's say people wanted to replicate yours. All they'd have to do in the past is take your profile, duplicate it, have more of a presence online, and they would say, "Hi, I'm the real, David Hill, verify me." And now you're the real guy, be like, "Hey, how did this guy get it?" So it's very challenging now. So you need quality press to make that happen. You need to have, it all comes down to press, not followers, not likability, not industry, not fame, not even books. We work with a lot of professionals and authors, and we have this one lady that was very angry in a nice way. "I'm famous. I have 3 books." And I said to her in a cool way, I said, "Listen, it doesn't matter. It's like trying to get a visa into a country. They don't care what you look like. They don't care how many books you've written. If you don't have this documentation for the immigration, you are not getting in. You can't charm your way into this. You can't be cheeky and do something naughty. You have to do it this way." And it's the same thing with Facebook. They don't budge. So it's all driven on press. And to anyone listening, it's high quality press. The more high quality press you can have, like Forbes, Entrepreneur, USA Today, if they're written about you, that's the way that you have more of a chance to get it.
Interesting. So like someone like me, I reached out, by the way, to somebody through Upwork that says they do that. And they basically responded to me a day later, says, "I can't do it for your account." And that was it. That was the response I got. So I was just like, well, F you, buddy.
At least you got the truth.
But how do I fix that's the question, right? So clearly the $180 guy on Upwork can't do it for me. So how,
right.
And listen,
why are you going to pay me the big bucks?
I was on stage with NAR. So I've got, I was published in NAR's, national magazine. So I have some stuff out there, right? I got a national podcast. So how does someone like me get it done?
Yeah. So what we would do is we would take your information, have a look at what you have, and then add more fuel to the fire. We would use some other late publications like Forbes, Entrepreneur, and write all about who you are and what you do and why you're the number one. That's really it. And Facebook uses that strategy to give themselves validity that you are this person. So all it is it's just, all it is basically Facebook making sure that you're the right person. That's how you get the tick. We've just put the tick as like ultimate status. But think about it. If you had to like verify, if you were an immigration officer and some people are trying to come in from another country and they're like, "Well, this is what I do." Man, I'm going to need some other sources than you just looking good and sounding good and got a book. That's how I explain it to people. And then once you educate them, then you can move them. It's like, now these are the benefits. This is what's going to happen when you get it. This is the cost. This is how you're going to make it back.
Got it. So I have to get into Forbes or like Entrepreneur or something is what I need to do.
Yeah, you want to get into some big quality press. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if, you're on a television show, like those things could help, but it's so challenging now to get it done that you need the exact blueprint.
Wow. All right. Good to know. Let me ask you this, as far as introvert, right? So like what we're talking about right now, video, audio app. If someone's an introvert and they say, "Well, I'm an introvert," what do you say to that person?
Yeah, well, we get this all the time, right? We work, the way we work when we are helping people grow a personal brand with my agency, and I love it. We usually work with people who have made something else famous or have built a company, and it's time to turn the spotlight on them. And the first thing they say, this is within we call it the first 2 or 3 fears that come up. First thing is it going to work for them? And the second thing usually is, "I'm shy," or "I'm an introvert." And David, I always say to them, and I look in their eyes, or I'll on the phone, I'm like, "Can I ask you a very important question? I want you to be very honest with me." And they say, "What's up?" And I say, "Who said you were an introvert?" And the mic drops and they go, "I said I'm an introvert." And this is a bit more mindset driven, but it's like, you got to be careful what you're telling yourself, because those messages will either make you die or make you fly. Right. And I feel like so many people they put people that they value as on stage. "Oh, he's that guy. Tony Robbins, he's the speaker guy. That's not me." Well, why can't it be you, man? You're not trying to be David. You're not trying to be me. You're not trying to be Tony or Grant. You're trying to be you. So I tell people, listen, I hear what you're saying. Why don't we just do it in a way where you can feel alive about it? And they're like, okay. So I get it. When I tell that to people, I get it, but let's find a way to make sure that you can feel like you can come alive. And this is what we do for people.
You know, you were asking me about books earlier, and I based on what we're talking about, I think of Mel Robbins' book, The 5-Second Rule. I'm sure you've that phenomenal book. I've had Mel on the podcast. I mean, all this stuff, and I got to get verified, boss. I got to figure that.
Dude, we got to talk after this, man. Yeah.
What she said is, I'm thinking is this great for an introvert or anybody. You know, you just got to do the 5-second rule, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just raise your hand, right? Or say, hey, I want to share. I mean, I know I run a lot of rooms in Clubhouse, and you know, people want to ask a question, they want to share, they want to say something, but they're too in their head, they're too fearful to even. And I think if you just take the action, then it grows from there, right? You take the action, and then next time it's a little easier, and then next time it's a little easier. Before you know it, you're gonna be out there, you're gonna be an extrovert.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. People ask me, how do I become a better speaker, or how do I be good like you on camera? I'm like, how many times did you practice today? Dude, you know, I used to be really bad at sales, you know, and I'm obviously improving, but like, you think you're good? No, dude, I'm doing role play. I'm scripting out more what I'm saying. I'm having conversations. Like, same thing with speaking. The only way to become a better speaker is to start speaking, you know, and I practice speaking. This is practice for me, you know, helping me articulate who I am and what I do. So it's like, a lot of people have to understand, you're right. Like, you're never going to just be good in that moment. You got to keep doing it over and over and over and over again. And then, David, people go, well, you know, I didn't put my hand up because I'm an introvert. Okay. Are we going to be using that excuse forever, or do you want to do something about it? You know?
Yeah. Do you want to grow?
Yeah.
Boss, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? If they're interested in connecting, learning more about what you do, how you're going to get me verified, all that good stuff.
Yeah. For anyone listening right now, listen, you know, if I can share this without, you know, before we tell you when you can go, you should be always thinking about, hey, how can I get more people to know who I am? Right? Because everybody listening right now, you have a story, you have a message, you have something the world wants to hear. The only reason you're not doing it is you don't know how to get people to hear it. But like, David, all the people listening to you, dude, I'm sure they're successful in their own way. Let's get more people to know about it. And you just posting one time on Facebook isn't going to cut it. You need to put money into your promotion and the PR, you know, so I can help you with that. So look, if that's of interest, at JJ Live, JayJayLive, or if you're old school website styles, Ace of Spades Agency, just how it reads and sounds, aceofspadesagency.com.
Awesome, man. Final question, bro. On the path to mastery, man, what's the one thing? I'm going to ask 2 questions. First, well, you kind of gave us that already. I was going to say, what's the one thing you want everybody to make sure they take from this? But you kind of just shared that. Well, what's path to mastery mean to you?
Commitment to yourself and commitment to do whatever it takes. Because if you want to master whatever you want to master, look at anyone else who's done something in your mind that's highly valued. What have they done? They really went all in. And working in the entertainment business for a long time, working as this role, it's like every time I've achieved something, it's like, what have I done, man? I just went like, boom, like you filter everything out, go all in. And that moment when you do and you don't freeze, that's when magic starts to happen. Yeah,
that's the breakthrough moment. All right,
and
boss.
That's the fun part. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for being on. It was fun.
Thank you, man. Yeah, boys.
I'm going to encourage everybody. Let me say the word right. Everybody to connect with Jay Jaye.
Let's do it, man. Send me a DM when you listen to this, everybody, so I know it's you.